Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. My name is Erica and this is Core Yoga. If you're new to this class or you've never taken a yoga class before, it's structured much like any other exercise class. We start with the slow warm-up. We start to warm up our core, loosen the muscles in the area as well as the rest of our body. Then we move into the bulk of our practice where we need a little more energy, a lot more core work, and then we end with the cool down where we start to slow down our practice, slow down our movements, and prepare our body for 2 to 3 moments of stillness on our back, which is, I like to argue, one of the most important parts of yoga. It allows us to absorb the benefits of the class and remove ourselves from our physical body and focus more about what's going on the inside. I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body throughout practice. Don't let your ego get in the way, meaning practice for your body and your body only. Some things might not feel right for you that feel right for me, and that's okay. Honor your body and your space. And always check with the doctor before you start a new exercise regimen. Today we're going to get started in a seated position facing the front of our mat. So take a loose cross leg shape. If you're not entirely comfortable with the legs crossed and can't find length through the spine, try taking a loose diamond shape instead, bottoms of the feet together, and sort of lean your chest forward, send your sits bones back. So 2 options, here's the one, or legs drawn in a little closer. Spine stays long wherever you are. Hands are either at your knees or at your sides, whatever's most comfortable. We're going to gaze slightly down towards our mat and start with some deep breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Deepening the breath, so drawing in more air than you usually do. And slowing down the exhale out through the mouth. Shoulders start to relax down the back. Now resume your normal breath pattern and lift your head to look forward. Take some shoulder rolls, so draw the shoulders up to the ears, then relax them down the back. Nice, big, exaggerated circles here. So we loosen up the muscles around the shoulders, maybe at the base of the neck. Now reverse direction, bringing shoulders up and down around the front. Just as big as the circle you did in the opposite direction. Then find stillness with spine long towards the ceiling. Belly is slightly drawing in to help support the body. Lift both arms up overhead, gaze is up towards the ceiling, palms face one another. Shoulders relax down the back, once again making space for the neck. Take some deep breaths into the chest, find length on both sides of the body. If you need a little ease, separate the arms so they're further apart from one another. Now lower the hands down to your knees or at your sides, round the spine, tuck your chin to your chest. Take a breath or 2 here. Again, start to lengthen the spine. Lift both arms directly overhead or arms wide, whatever was most comfortable, and hold for a few breaths here. Core is active. Belly button draws close to the body. Lower arms down, round the spine, chin to chest. Hold and breathe here. Lift the spine upright and look forward. Left hand crosses over towards the right knee. We'll spinal twist to the right, placing our free hand directly behind us, gazing over our right shoulder. Spine stays long to the ceiling. Breath stays nice and deep. Core is active. Keep that belly button drawing in close to the body like you wanted to touch your spine. Slowly unwind, return to center. Right hand crosses to the left. We spinal twist to the left, gazing out towards the back of the room. Keep the core engaged. Slowly unwind and return to center, hands at your sides. Lift your left arm up to the ceiling, reach through the tips of your fingers, lift the left ribs high to the ceiling, keep that belly drawing in. And we'll add a bit of a side bend over to the right. So hand on the floor is giving a little bit of support, but it shouldn't be doing all the work for your core. You should definitely let the core in your center hold you up. If you'd like to make the pose a little more difficult, take the hand off the floor and bring it to your lap. Nice deep breaths. Return to center and return the hands to the floor at your sides. Right arm extends up to the ceiling, reaching through the tips of the fingers, finding length on the body, activating the core. Add a little bit of a side bend, hold it here. Free hand is either on the floor or on your lap. And we return to center with hands at our sides. Extend both legs forward, keeping a slight bend in the knee, heels to mat. Ground your sits bones to the floor, find length through the spine. Place your hands at your sides. And flex the feet, start to press out through the heels. We're gonna hinge forward from the hips, leading with the chest, bringing our belly down closer to our thighs. Maybe you don't need to find very much movement to start to feel the sensation on the back of the legs. If you need a little more sensation here, wiggle the hips back, straightening the legs a little bit, but keeping the length in the spine and the contact belly to thighs. Gazes down towards your legs, we'll breathe here. Relaxing those shoulders down the back once again. Pressing out through the heels so we get that engagement on the back side of the legs. Nice deep breaths to ease you through the stretch. Rise back to seated, bring the bottoms of the feet together into butterfly pose. Find length through the spine, hold on to the feet. Gaze again is down towards the mat. If you're looking for a little less sensation in the hips, slide the heels away from the body. Otherwise, stay right where you're at. Deepen the breath. Extend the legs forward once again, then swing them behind you, coming onto your hands and your knees in tabletop position. Wrist under shoulders, knees stacked under hips, tops of the feet to mat, fingers spread nice and wide. Let's round the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest. Start to lift and arch the spine into cow pose, gazing up to ceiling. Let the tailbone lead your movement as you find the roundness in your spine, back to cat, chin tucks in. Tailbone leads the way as you lift and arch to cow. One more time, rounding the spine. Lifting and arching, then returning to tabletop. Lean forward so the shoulders are out past the wrist and bend the elbows into chaturanga, keeping them close to the body and then lowering all the way down to the floor, bringing hips down to the floor, tops of feet to mat. Place your arms along the floor as well, out at shoulder height, palms face down, and turn your head to one side so cheek can come to the mat. Bring the big toes to touch, but let the heels fall out, help to release the low back. And we'll take a few seconds here, getting a nice stretch for our neck. Chin is in line with the shoulder. If you'd like a deeper stretch for your neck, turn your head so you're resting more on your ear than you are your cheek. Then slowly turn your head to the opposite side, starting on your cheek first. Moving to the ear if you did so on the opposite side. Bring your chin to the mat, place your hands back underneath the shoulders, elbows up towards the ceiling. Then press yourself back to tabletop on your hands and your knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Lift up to the tips of the fingers and extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heel in line with hip, in line with shoulders. Draw the belly in like you got punched in the gut. Help to flatten the back. Now draw the right knee in towards your chest for a tabletop crunch. Round the spine, pull the knee in nice and high, draw the belly in, then extend the leg behind you once again. We'll take that one more time. Tabletop crunch, knee to chest, round the spine, belly in, lift the knee nice and high, then step or place the foot into lunge. So ankles below the knee, foot in between the hands. Slowly draw the breath in through the nose as you lift both arms overhead. Pause and exhale here. Take a few deep breaths into the chest. Right foot pressing firmly to the floor, thigh is engaged, core is engaged. Slowly start to belly twist to the right, lowering arms down by your side. So left hand comes to the outside of the knee, right hand lowers behind you. Right foot still flat to the mat. Core is active and drawing in. Take a few breaths here. If you'd like to add some toning for your shoulder and your arm, right arm's gonna extend up to shoulder height, thumb face up towards the ceiling. Don't lose the engagement in your core. We'll slowly untwist and come back through center, lifting both arms overhead. Take your time, keep your core active for stability. As you exhale out through your mouth, bring your fingertips down to the floor. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, leg stays active, then return to tabletop. Left leg extends, heel in line with hip, flatten the back, draw belly in. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, around the spine, pull belly up nice and high, then extend the leg behind you one more time. Exhale as you find the crunch, drawing belly in, lifting knee high, stepping or placing the foot into lunge, ankle below knee. Slowly draw the breath in through the nose, lift both arms overhead, pause and exhale here. Find strength and length in your pose. Legs are active, core is active. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Slowly start to belly twist to the left this time, lowering arms down by your sides. Lifting the left arm to shoulder height if you're adding the toning for for arm and shoulder. Slowly unwind, start to come to center. Keep the core active for stability. Lift both arms back overhead. On your next exhale out through your mouth, lower fingertips down towards the floor. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes, and we'll all meet in tabletop, knee to mat. Plant your hands flat back to the floor. Turn your fingertips out to face the long edges of your mat and find a gentle rock side to side. We're starting to loosen up our wrist a little bit here. Now let's start to make some circles. And switch direction. Then turn fingertips forward, facing the front of your mat once again. Press the tips of the fingers into the mat, press the top of the palm and the base of the palm. Spread the shoulders wide across the back side of the body. We're gonna step our feet back into plank. So we're on the balls of the feet, both knees lift off the mat. Take a look back for your alignment, heels in line with hips in line with shoulders, belly's drawing in. We're gazing down towards the mat. Our core is active, thighs, glutes are active. We'll lower the knees down to the mat and round the spine, chin to chest. Then relax back to tabletop. If plank feels uncomfortable on your wrist, try taking it on your fist instead, thumbs facing one another. One more time, we'll step back into plank. We're holding here, not holding the breath. We're toning total body here, especially our core as belly draws back to the spine. Then lower the knees to the mat. If you had your hands in fists, bring your palms flat to the mat. Lower to puppy pose, bringing elbows down to the mat, stacked under shoulders, palms face down to the floor, and head relaxes. Take a few breaths here as we find some length in our spine, get some added blood flow to our heads. This pose here, puppy pose, is option 1 for your rest period during this class. You're more than welcome to take this pose at any time. I don't have to cue so. This is your rest period. Find it when you need it. Option 2 is to find child's pose, sending hips all the way back to the heel, separating the knees to make space for your belly and forehead rest to the mat. Option 2 for your rest position throughout the class. Take whichever one feels most comfortable in your body. And take a few deep breaths wherever you're at to finish your warm-up, bringing some attention to your body and your breath. Nice deep breaths here. Nice and slowly find your way back to tabletop. Lift up to the tips of your fingers. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through your toes, preparing for tabletop crunch. Draw right knee in towards chest, around the spine. Lift that knee nice and high. Step or place it into lunge. Left toes tuck onto the mat. Lift the left knee into the air as you lift up to pointer and middle finger, sending chest forward. Step up to half lift, so left foot steps up to meet the right. Feet are together. I flatten my back till it's parallel to floor, hands to shins. Lower to fold by gently bending the knees, dropping your belly to touch the thighs, letting arms and head hang heavy. Some of us might need to bend our knees a little more than others. Keep the hips reaching high towards the ceiling and low belly drawing in. One vertebrae at a time, we're going to round our spines up to a standing position, nice and slow. Let your chin come up from your chest, the very last. Once you're up, give me a nice deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms out at your sides, up overhead. Exhale out through your mouth, lowering arms back down by your sides. So now I'm going to demo our plank sequence for the week. Every week we have a new plank sequence where we target our core and we're going to tie that into our practice. So I'm going to demo the first time, so just watch so you guys know what's up for the rest of the class, and then we'll work on doing it together. So we're going to start in a plank position. We've already done this 2 times today. Check your alignment. Core and body is active. So I'll give you a countdown, something like our plank sequence. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. We're going to start with shoulder taps today. So one hand's going to cross over and touch opposite shoulder, and then you'll complete with the other side. We're going to do that twice. So shoulder, 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 shoulder. Then we're going to lift one foot off the mat. Doesn't have to be very high. See, my right foot lifts, heel about in line with my hip, and lower. Lift, opposite side. We're going to do that 4 times. So shoulder, 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 lift, 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 and lift. We'll lower to forearm plank. We'll hold this here for 5 seconds. Same thing with the alignment here. And then we'll lower down to our bellies and carry on from there. So we're all going to start at the top of our mat with our feet hips width distance apart. Stand nice and tall with purpose at your mat. Find lift in the chest and deepen the breath. Slowly lift both arms overhead, gazing up towards the ceiling. Lower to forward folds, bending knees, dropping belly to thighs, arms and head hang heavy. Rise to half lift, flattening your back, gaze down towards the floor. Step into a plank position. So bend your knees so you can plant your hands and step back into plank. We'll start our first sequence in 1, 2, 3, go. Shoulder, 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 lift, 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 and lift. Forearm plank. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Tops of feet to mat, hands under shoulders, elbows face up to the ceiling. Lift your chest off the mat using the strength of your core. Notch your hands, shoulders wrap behind the heart. Now press into the hands to press into your rest position, coming into puppy pose, elbows to mat, or child's pose, hips to heels. Take a breath or two here. And slowly rise back to tabletop. Lift up to the tips of the fingers and extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, draw that belly in, step or place the foot into lunge. Right toes tuck onto the mat. We lift right knee into the air as we lift up to pointer and middle finger. Step up to half lift, flattening your back, hands to shins. Lower to fold, belly meets thighs, arms and head hang. And slowly roll your spine up to a standing position. Same thing, slowly lift the arms overhead, gaze up to ceiling. Lower to fold, bringing belly down to thighs. Rise, half lift, flatten the back. Step into your plank position. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Shoulder, shoulder, core active. Lift, 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 and lift. Forearm plank. Hold for 5, don't hold the breath. And release. Tops of feet to mat, hands under shoulders. Lift the chest, baby cobra, draw the belly in. Then press to your rest position, puppy pose or child's pose. Taking a few deep breaths here. Notice what differences you might feel in the body now versus the rest period at the beginning of the class. Do you feel any different? Slowly rise back to tabletop and lift up to the tips of the fingers. Extend your right leg behind you, point through the toes. Give me a crunch, knee to chest. Round the spine, step the foot into lunge. We're gonna lift up to half lift. Slowly lower to fold. Rise up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Once you make it to the top, give me a deep breath in through the nose as you lift arms overhead. Slow breath out through the mouth as you lower to fold, belly to thighs. Draw the breath in as you rise to half lift. Exhale as you step back into plank and resume your normal breath here. We'll start our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Shoulder, 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 shoulder. Find those lifts. Meet me in forearm plank. If you're chilling in this forearm plank and it feels easy, I want you to keep with the lifts here. Nice slow lifts, keep them controlled. Up to you if you want to add that. We're going to lower to our belly, hands under shoulders. Lift your chest, baby cobra, and press to your rest position. Puppy or child's. You want to keep that heart rate up, so we're going to rise back to tabletop. Lift up to the tips of the fingers. Extend your left leg behind you. Give me a crunch into lunge. Then step up to half lift. Exhale as you lower to fold, belly to thighs. Try to draw the inhale out as you rise to standing. Then exhale at the top. Bring both arms overhead, gaze up to ceiling. Find a side bend over to the right, so hips press out to the left. Fingers reach for the right side of the room. Chin lifts from the chest. If you need some ease here, lower your right arm down by your side. Root your left foot into the mat. Find length on that side of the body. Bring both arms back up through center, then lower to folds, belly to thighs. Rise, half lift, flatten your back. We're gonna step our right foot back into a lunge position. So bend your knees, plant your fingertips to the floor, kick your right foot back until left knee is stacked over the ankle. You might need to kick the right foot back a few times. Bring your hands to your thighs and engage your forward leg. Lift your chest up and extend both arms up overhead. We'll take a few breaths here. On the ball of the right foot, left knee is still stacked over the ankle. Draw the belly in towards the spine, nice and slow. We're gonna start to belly twist to the left, lowering our arms down by our sides. If you wanna challenge your balance, try to look towards the back of your mat. If you're adding the toning for arm and shoulder, lift that left arm in line with the shoulder, thumb face up to ceiling. Everyone slowly unwind, bringing both arms back overhead. Bring fingertips down towards the floor. Step back into plank. Drop the knees to tabletop. Round the spine to cat pose, tuck chin to chest. Lift and arch to cow, gaze up to ceiling. Then meet me back in tabletop with a nice flat back. Step into plank. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Shoulder, 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 shoulder. Find those lifts. Lift, lift, and lift. Forearm plank. We're holding for 5. You can keep with those lifts if you like. Otherwise, we're holding nice and steady here. Then we're lowering to our belly, hands under shoulders. Inhale to lift the chest off the mat and exhale to your rest position. We're gonna take a few rounds of breath this time. Appreciate your rest position. Appreciate the moment of stillness in our every busy days. Slowly meet me back in tabletop. Lift up to the tips of the fingers and extend your right leg behind you. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, and step the foot into a lunge position. Slowly step up and meet me in half lift, hands to shins. Lower to fold, belly meets the thighs. Slowly rise to standing, 1 vertebrae at a time. Slowly lift both arms overhead. And find a side bend over to the left as hips press to the right side of the mat. Core is engaged, chin lifts from chest. Lower that left arm down if you need some ease. Slowly bring both arms overhead. Then lower to forward folds, belly to thighs. Rise to half lift. Step your left foot back into lunge, bringing fingertips to floor. Right knee is stacked over the ankle. Bring hands to thighs, then extend the arms overhead. Take your time, there's no need to rush. Take a few breaths here. Slowly find the twist to the right, lowering arms down by your sides. If you're challenging your balance, you're looking towards the back of the mat. If you're toning the right arm, lift it up to shoulder height. Everyone slowly return to center, lifting both arms overhead. Lower your hands down to the floor. Step back into plank. Plant the hands flat and lower to tabletop. Round the spine to cat pose, tuck chin to chest. Slowly lift and arch to cow pose, gaze up to ceiling. Then return to tabletop, flattening the back. Draw that belly in. Step into your plank position and we'll start our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Shoulder taps here. 3 and 4. Find the lifts. 3, and 4. Find your forearm plank and hold for 5. Slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale to your rest position. Enjoy the moment of stillness here. And deepen your breath. Slowly find your tabletop position. Lift up to the tips of your fingers. Extend your right leg behind you. Give me a crunch into into lunge. Step up to half lift as you breathe in. Exhale into forward fold. Slowly draw the inhale out as you rise to standing. And exhale at the top. Let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths here. Breath in through the nose, lifting arms out of your sides, up overhead. Exhale, hands together, down through heart center, and back down at our sides. Breath 2, in through the nose, out and up overhead. Exhaling out through the mouth, bringing hands together to heart center, and down at our sides. Last time, deep breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center, and pause here. Don't hold the breath. Lower chin to chest. And just take a few rounds of breath here, being still in your body. Closing the eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And just taking note of how you feel, the rate of your heartbeat, the rate of your breath. Lift your chin from your chest, lower arms down by your sides, open your eyes if they were closed. Give me a deep breath in, lifting the arms overhead one last time, then exhale to forward fold, belly meets the thighs. Inhale, half lift, flatten the back, then step into your plank position. We're taking our last set of plank work in 3, 2, 1. Shoulder taps. 3, 4, feet lift. 3 and 4, find your forearm plank. We're holding this one for 15 seconds. If you're tired, you're more than welcome to lower down to your belly already. We're all gonna get there eventually. I've already started counting. We only have another 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. All the way flat to the mat. Bring your arms along the sides of your body this time, turning your head to one side, resting on your cheek. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale out your mouth, release fully onto your mat. Just let go. Slowly turn your head to the opposite side. Bring your chin to mat, place hands on your shoulders, and press yourself into your rest position one last time. Nice and slow, rise back to tabletop. And shift your feet off to one side of the mat so you can bring your hips down to the floor and swing your legs out in front. Shimmy yourself until you are seated in the center of your mat. Bend your knees so feet are on the floor. Place your hands on the back side of your thighs and slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time until you're flat on your back. Once you're flat, draw both knees in towards your chest. Hold on below the knees, pulling the thighs close to the body. If that's uncomfortable on your knees, you can hold on to the back of your thighs instead. We're going to hold this here. Getting a nice stretch for the low back. Bringing some fresh blood to our organs, keeping them happy and healthy. If you'd like to find a little bit of movement in this pose, you can gently rock side to side, helping to massage the muscles on the back. And place your hands on the back side of your thighs and extend both legs up towards the ceiling. Legs don't have to straighten completely, but if they are, line the heels up over the hips. If you need some ease here, try bending the knees, drawing the thighs closer to the body, but keep the heels elevated away from the hips. That way you're still getting the benefits of an inversion, just finding some ease in the legs. Inversions are great for inducing relaxation, helping to calm the nervous system. It's a great pose to take before we find our final resting pose, helping to ease our body, to find some comfortability in our stillness. Not all the time is it comfortable for us to just be still if we're not trying to go to sleep. It's weird to just be with ourselves and not do anything. Everyone bend your knees, lower your heels down towards your glutes. Place your arms out along the floor at shoulder height, palms face up to the sky. Slowly let your knees fall to the right into recline spinal twist. As head turns to the left. Knees lined up with the hips is a good starting spot for this pose. But if you need some ease, you're going to lower your knees a little lower than the hips. If you'd like a little more sensation in this pose, you're going to bring your knees a little higher than the hips. Find what's most comfortable for you. And then try to close the eyes as we near closer to our final rest period. Draw the knees back to center. Let them fall over to the left. Head turns to the right. If you made any adjustments on the opposite side, see if it feels good to do the same on this side, trying to keep our sides nice and even. Maybe you notice that one side needs something a little different than the other, and that's okay too. Slowly draw both knees in towards the chest, keeping eyes closed. Wrapping your arms below the knees or on the back of the thighs, whatever is best suited for your needs. Slowly lift your head off the mat to meet your knees. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Hold the breath here. Squeeze all the muscles in your body nice and tight. Fingers in your face, your hands, your toes, your legs. And when you exhale out through the mouth, start to lay flat on the mat and separate your arms and legs nice and wide. Take up as much space as you can. Palms face up to the sky. Toes fall out away from one another. Take a deep breath in through your nose one last time. Exhale out through your mouth and let go completely onto your mat. We'll stay here in our final rest period. Bring your attention to your breath, following every rise and fall of the chest. Relaxing every muscle in your body, starting with the brow and the muscles around the face. Moving down your neck into your shoulders, letting your shoulders relax onto the mat. Your chest sink down towards the mat. Moving your attention down to your belly, letting belly relax, hips release, thighs hang heavy towards the floor, as do the calves and the heels. Releasing all bits of remaining stress out through your toes as you follow the pattern of your breath. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, welcome movement back to your body. Slowly roll over to the right side of your body. Take a moment of stillness here on your side for about 15 seconds. You can use your arm as a pillow to support your head. Keep the eyes closed. Keep the focus on the breath. Eyes remain closed or gaze stays low to the floor as you press yourself up into any comfortable seated position. As always, to end class, we'll take 3 cleansing breaths together as one. That's breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Today we're going to inhale as deeply as we can, hold it at the top for just a moment or two, then slowly exhale out through the mouth. 3 times through, let's all start on an exhale, releasing all the breath we have out of the body. And start to breathe in through the nose, filling up the body with as much breath as you can, holding at the top. Exhaling slowly out through the mouth. Again, breath in through the nose. Holding at top and releasing out the mouth. Last time, breath in, hold, and breath out. Take a second to thank yourself and thank your body for getting you through this practice. I'd like to thank you for letting me lead you on this practice. There is a light that exists within me that respects and honors the light that exists within each and every one of you. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed the class just as much as I enjoyed teaching it. If you enjoyed this class and you're looking for more, a new version of this class is released every Wednesday at 8 a.m. If you're looking for something a little easier on the body, not as much core work, I teach a vinyasa yoga class, and that is aired every Monday at 8 a.m. If you're not yet following UMBC on Instagram, on YouTube, give us a follow. Keep up with all of our content. We're releasing so many classes a week. Take advantage and let us know what you think.